We continue to monitor Tropical Storm Faye across the Gulf Coast waters, hugging near Galveston at this hour. In fact, the latest information that we have received as of 10 o'clock local time, that Central Daylight Time, still indicates to us that Faye has become nearly stationary, or I should say it's been nearly stationary, and is just not moving much. Winds continue to be about 60 miles per hour, and its location is now about 100 miles south of the Galveston, Texas area. Not too far from here, and as you take a look at all the convection going on with Faye, there is plenty to talk about. Excuse the last frame, once again, that is due to an eclipse, but nonetheless, take a look at all this moisture just ushering in. And boy, have we seen some heavy showers. The showers are weakening some here in New Orleans, but we're going to continue to see these outer rain bands affecting us. The main concern, though, once again, Galveston into Houston. We have seen in excess of 3 inches already in the Galveston area. In fact, need to be very careful as far as flooding conditions. Another 8 to 12 inches of rain is possible just overnight from Sargent up towards Galveston. That's just the outer coastal area. You head further inland, you could see another 1 to 3 inches. So the rain is coming down in buckets, and along with that, the flooding is already going on. Flood watches continue in effect for many counties here across Texas, some in Louisiana into Mississippi. However, Matagorda and Brazoria County, you're already seeing some flooding in the area. And just to highlight a few of the tidal effects, Galveston County, the ferry service to and from Bolivar will cease if tide levels reach 5 feet. At Jamaica Beach, water has run over many streets, and some of these streets now have become impassable. And it just goes on and on. Along with the possibility of flooding, the winds are now beginning to pick up. You can see winds up to 41 miles per hour along the coastal areas, and that continues down towards Matagorda. It looks further inland, though, the wind gusts are up to almost 30 miles per hour. We continue to have tropical storm advisories from Louisiana to Port Aransas, Texas, and the possibility of this system intensifying could turn it into a hurricane before it makes landfall. So hurricane watches are in effect from High Island, Texas to Port O'Connor, Texas, and that means we need to keep a very close eye on the system. There it goes, hugging the Texas coastline, bringing in those outer bands with showers across Cuba. No development here across the Caribbean. It remains very quiet even in through the Atlantic. We do have a little system sitting here across the eastern Pacific, Tropical Depression 11E. We'll be right back.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
For long, healthy lives, these party animals eat Science Diet. Its superior antioxidant formula has the highest levels of vitamin E plus C, selenium, and beta-carotene. It's developed to help keep them younger, longer. How do I know? I'm not just their friend, I'm also their vet. Good boy. Science Diet, superior nutrition for the lifelong health of your pet.
Want laundry as fresh as the mountain air? Try Sierra, the fabric softener with...
Hi there. Want the bugs out fast? Call the man. Your Orkin man. At 1-800-800-ORKIN.
Switch to Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service and give your business the lowest cost shipping on 2- to 3-day packages. You'll save so much with Priority Mail, you'll have enough left over to treat yourself. Spare change. Brought to you by the United States Postal Service.
Where you headed, son? Memphis, home of Elvis, Chip. I get out here. Wait, don't get out here. You gotta see Beale Street, home of the blues. The Mississippi River. And Uncle Junior's catfish stand. Let's see.
Introducing Lay's newest taste of America, Memphis barbecue potato chips. No one can eat just one.
I know you point that thing, then take chips. Hey, look at this, Elvis. Hello, Elvis.
Now in front of the hour. Bill Keneally with you, and Tropical Storm Faye continues to come ashore now south and west of Galveston Island, Texas, packing winds of 60 miles per hour. The movement now is generally to the west-northwest at about 5 miles per hour, although it has been a little irregular. And again, generally, I'd say more of a westerly track here, maybe turning slightly as it comes in. We're noting there's a little report there around Palacios, Texas, of winds that are from the north-northwest, which tells us that system may be going a little bit east of Palacios, which would take it in somewhere between Matagorda Bay and Freeport, Texas. As of the 5 a.m. advisory now, the center of Tropical Storm Faye, loosely defined, mind you, at about 28.1 north and 95.8 west, about 45 miles south-southeast of Matagorda, Texas. Top winds are 60 miles an hour. The movement west-northwest of 5. Pressure has been fairly constant at about 999 millibars. The lowest observation on land about 999.5 millibars. And it looks like it is coming in there right at the east end of Matagorda Bay. We still have a tropical storm warning going from High Island, Texas, down to Port Aransas, Texas. And there has been some pretty high wind. In the Palacios area, we had a wind gust of 58 miles per hour. The peak wind I saw at Galveston Island at the airport now was about 46, 47 miles per hour. But I could probably venture a guess that out there on the shore itself, we've had winds gusting in the 50 mile per hour range or higher. And there is another reason now to get high wind, too. There is a nasty feeder band coming in right at the west end of Galveston Island. This one could be putting out that high wind I talked about in that 50, maybe 55 mile per hour range. Now, the center, you might think is way over here, but it's really not. It's coming in right about here, I think, right at the very, very east end of Matagorda Bay, and it will likely track generally off to the west-northwest. Flood warnings going out there. Watch out around Eagle Lake and Columbus. That is really heavy rainfall. Rainfall rates here could be on the order of 3 to maybe 5 inches per hour. And note that feeder band coming up, so watch out. Katy, Texas, it is coming your way. It's right about over Alvin, Texas now, coming up into Katy, then kind of bending back. And that rain, while it's not quite into San Antonio, it's not far away. So San Antonio to Austin, that is about the west bound of the rain. Then all the way to the coast is where the heavy rain is. Looking at that big ball of rain, there you go, coming in around Bexar County now. Likewise around Austin, and there's some more feeder band activity out there offshore. So watching Beaumont, Port Arthur, the Louisiana coast, New Orleans, we have a notification now that the flood watches have been lifted in Mississippi as well as Louisiana. That said, there still will be some pretty heavy rain coming in. Speaking of which, check out the rainfall that did occur. Thankfully, the worst of it, I think, was just offshore. Some areas, checking out our legend, have had in excess of really 6 to 10 inches of rain. And a lot of the rain coming on now in the last 2 to 3 hours has been onshore. Now, the observation points we have for you, including Angleton in the metro Houston area, 439, Galveston 404, Houston Hobby at .85. But as said, it looks like in Brazoria County and Fort Bend County and Wharton County, and now moving over there into the Colorado County area, that is where the rainfall rates are on the order of 2 to maybe 4, maybe 5 inches per hour. Disregard this. Our flood watch has been lifted for Louisiana and Mississippi. That is an ongoing flood watch, however, in Texas. Elsewhere in the Atlantic Basin, things are pretty quiet right now, actually. Dolly's remnants somewhere up there in the shipping lanes of the North Atlantic. Now, there is a system that bears watching coming off the African coast. This one holding together pretty well. Plenty of time to watch that. Elsewhere, watching an upper low back here north of Puerto Rico. This one could spell trouble in time. The islands, the Greater Antilles, have some cloud cover. Nothing organized whatsoever, however. But there is an area, though, that really does bear watching. This is an upper low. It looks like it may spawn a surface low pressure area right about here, and that one will likely migrate generally to the west. All the while, a big blocking high will build in over the northeast. So come Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're going to have to worry about this area. We'll have to maintain a vigil here in the Carolina beaches, and eventually there could be some wind and rain coming at you. So You'll have to watch out from the east as we typically do in early September. For now, though, things are just beginning to gel. Eastern Pacific, thankfully, in pretty good shape these days. Things have quieted down. There again is Faye coming ashore with all its attendant heavy rain. Stateside weather pretty quiet. The Northeast, Midwest in good shape. I do want to focus our attention, though, on the West. We have rain coming in. Some of the rain heavy. Flooding rain today. Watch it in Arizona, Utah, and New Mexico.
At Kelly Services, we provide companies with attorneys, engineers, accountants, even scientists. We also provide schools with the very best qualified, screened, and trained substitute teachers. Because without quality teachers, there would be no attorneys, engineers, accountants, or scientists. Kelly Services. Look what we do now.
Robert! Young man! Don't move. Don't move. Hey!
As far as heavy rain goes, and for more on this, here's our hurricane expert, Dr. Steve Lyons. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Kelly, and yes, that's the problem over the afternoon with the heating is how much rain is going to fall and where. And Dr. Forbes is going to be in just a few minutes to give you some updates on that. Let me show you the latest information from the Hurricane Center on Tropical Depression Faye. First of all tropical storm warnings have been canceled or discontinued at the coastline, so that's good news. The waves at the coast are dropping rather dramatically, so they'll be back down to the more manageable range of about 5 to 8 feet over the next 6 to 12 hours. It's moving to the west-northwest at 7, but looking at the latest satellite imagery and radar imagery, it looks like the system is starting to drift a little bit to the west or west-southwest. That heavy rain band coming over San Antonio is on the extreme western edge of that low-pressure center, which is right now in the clear air here. Still some rain coming up over Houston, mainly on the eastern sides, and then up over Intercontinental Airport. That could be problematic with some minor flight delays. But overall, the only concern we have today is how much the surface heating is going to cause this vortex to produce more rain. In the meantime, there's some more rain coming in toward the Louisiana coastline, and you can see, first of all, here's our tropical depression over land here, and here's this big cluster of rain showers, straight line winds in toward the coast. But watch out for some heavy rain from central Louisiana over to Mississippi and Alabama coastline. No tropical development expected in that area today. We do, however, have a new tropical depression number 7. This is way out in the central Atlantic, 1,155 miles east-southeast of Bermuda, winds 35 miles per hour, moving to the northwest at 8. This has to be one of the smallest tropical depressions I've ever seen the Hurricane Center write a depression on. There it is right there, that tiny little thing. But nevertheless, if you're a ship and go through it, you could have some problems with some gusty winds, especially if you're a small vessel. We'll monitor this as it moves to the west-northwest, but right now we think it's going to remain relatively weak and then dissipate over open water. That's the area that we're more concerned about. We'll continue to monitor that as we expect a low-pressure center to form. Let's get back to Melissa in the studio now.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Lyons. And we do have flood watches in effect for southeastern Texas, including the Houston area, where we also have that tornado watch in effect. And other flood watches are going here in eastern Louisiana and southern parts of Mississippi. Elsewhere across the country, we also have a pretty good fetch of moisture coming into the southwest, and that will spark off some showers and storms over the Four Corners and some of the Rocky Mountain states. But we think the threat for severe weather will be with our landfalling tropical system, Tropical Depression Faye, now moving through Texas. But again, some of these storms out west could produce some very heavy rain. We're already seeing some lightning strikes going out there east of San Diego, across the deserts of Southern California, and also heading into Arizona. So some pretty heavy rains are expected here, and we are concerned about flooding. Then again, this is an area that certainly could use the rainfall out here in the southwest, and we'll continue to monitor it. And there you see also the rain that continues to pour on into Texas and Louisiana back towards the Mobile Bay area. But again, here in the southwest, let's take a look at the moisture that continues to stream on in. San Diego only picking up about 1/10 of an inch of rain yesterday. A little more rain fell overnight, but all this rain is well to the south of you in Los Angeles, so I wouldn't be too concerned about wet roads in your area. It's right here in parts of Arizona and Utah where we do have flood watches in effect, including the Bryce Canyon area down towards Sedona and the Grand Canyon area as well. We'll continue to monitor it. Locally, we could see more than 5 inches of rain in south central Texas out here in the hill country. Also some scattered showers and storms possible all along the Gulf Coast. And we're also looking at dry weather around the Great Lakes in the Northeast. So it looks like a fabulous day today and tomorrow. Very pleasant temperatures now at 76 degrees in New York City, 73 degrees in Boston, 75 in Washington, D.C. Chicago, 78 degrees right now. That is our normal high for this time of the year, but we're going to be well into the 80s. Stay with us for your local on the 8th.
You got one vanilla cone. Did you want sprinkles on that?
Yeah, sprinkles be great.
Lost your wallet? We'll help you replace any major credit card 24/7. When you carry American Express traveler's checks, so you can get back to your vacation.
Sprinkles.
I hope this finds you. I think of you every day. I miss being asked for my advice and loving you enough to always tell you the truth. I'm still here, you know. When you need me, when you're ready. Love always. God.
Our hearts, our minds, and our doors are always open.
United Methodist Church, our hearts, our minds, and our doors are always open.
America is traveling with Michelin. Right now, buy any 4 Michelin tires and get a Samsonite wheeled carry-on upright and the new Michelin North America Road Atlas free, a value of over $120. Just call 1-888-MICHELIN for your nearest participating Michelin dealer and get rolling. But hurry, this offer ends October 5th.
Michelin tires are available at a dealer near you or visit MichelinMan.com.
Morty! Morty! Morty!
In a perfect world, your home would get smaller when the kids move out.
Morty!
Mabel! In the real world, there's Century21.com, the perfect place to find your next home.
Where are you?
Congratulations, it's a boy.
Around the San Antonio area. Earlier, you might take note that we did have a tornado watch in effect for the southeast area of Texas. That watch was allowed to expire at 4 o'clock local time. We did not detect any tornadic activity, although a number of thunderstorms did train across the Houston area for several hours, and floodwaters here too are a concern. Taking a closer look out towards Medina County, that's the western area of San Antonio, we're looking at some very heavy rainfall still in the vicinity, but the good news is that shield of very heavy rain is moving a little more to the west, and that's going to give San Antonio's immediate area a little bit of a break, and it is much needed. Several inches of rainfall have added up just this afternoon alone, and as this remnant of moisture continues to be a rainmaker, not only for the weekend, but even as we go into early next week, we're going to have some problems getting around. And now that we're going into the evening hours, we want to remind everyone of your safety rules, your safety procedures. If you don't have to travel in and around in the San Antonio area, you are much better off. We're still likely to see some thunderstorms, and certainly the thunderstorms are going to put out some heavy rainfall, but even showers light in nature could train across an area and cause some flooding. So please do keep this in mind. Looking out towards the Houston area, looking a little bit better out towards Beaumont, where we had showers and thunderstorms training across this area for several hours this afternoon. Still seeing a few thunderstorms to the northwest of the Houston vicinity. So here too, some of the secondary roads may not be passable. We've had a number of flood warnings around San Antonio as well as Houston. We're looking at a large part of South Texas under a flood watch, and that means that more flooding is possible. Also looking at much of eastern, southeastern Louisiana. That does include the New Orleans vicinity under a flash flood watch, as well as Gulfport, Mississippi. Now, we do have some problems a little further to the east to monitor. Nothing fully developed as of yet. We're looking at an area of low pressure just to the north central vicinity of the Bahamas. This circulation is helping to induce this broad area of lower pressure, which may become tropical in nature. We'll continue to monitor this deep convection. Certainly it's in an area where conditions could quickly become more favorable for tropical development. So we do have some concerns. Eventually some of this moisture could swing around and head out towards the southeast coastal area. Now, we do have another tropical depression. I should show you the satellites showing that it has lost some intensity because those colder cloud tops are not as well defined out here in the middle of the Atlantic Basin. But if you are tracking this tropical depression. It's number 7, and as of 5 p.m., we were looking at maximum sustained wind at 35 miles per hour. It's not a threat to land, but it is a marine concern. It's moving to the west-northwest at about 9 miles per hour, well to the east of Bermuda. The estimated pressure around 1,015 millibars. Again, this is tropical depression number 7. Let me take you out to the Pacific, where across the Baja, we're looking at a little bit of a depression still in place here. That concerns us, but it is tracking south away from the Baja. Let's go back home. Quickly, 2 things I want to remind you of. We have some showers and some thunderstorms across the Four Corner region extending into Flagstaff, Arizona. This is the same weather pattern that brought us some rain across San Diego this morning. We do have a watch that continues to be in effect for much of Arizona as well as parts of the Colorado western areas. You'll notice the showers and thunderstorms are within the watch. Some of these thunderstorms could put out some floodwaters here too. In addition to that, we do have the lightning, so please be inside when the thunderstorms do come your way. We will continue to monitor a very nice day. Some good news in the Northeast, so don't go away. We'll have more details coming up at the top of the hour, and of course after that, your locals on the 8 are on the way.
Advanced technology. The applications are endless. That's the thinking behind the groundbreaking Bridgestone Dueler. A complete line of tires for all kinds of utility vehicles, with performance and comfort all the way around. The Dueler series from Bridgestone, where technology drives the tire. Buy 4 select Dueler tires and get a free Bridgestone 5-in-1 TV lantern.
There they are.
Outback's curbside takeaway. Call up, pull up, and we'll bring it right to your car. So you can enjoy our perfectly grilled shrimp and our juicy steaks seared to perfection.
Hey, think you might have accidentally locked me out.
Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right. Visit our website for the Outback Steakhouse nearest you. No rules, just right.
You got 1 vanilla cone. Did you want sprinkles on that?
Yeah, sprinkles be great.
Lost your wallet? We'll help you replace any major credit card 24/7. When you carry American Express traveler's checks, so you can get back to your vacation.
Sprinkles.
An A&E original movie.
Do have some very interesting brain patterns.
His dreams control our destiny.
I think about killing myself to stop it happening.
But who controls his dreams?
Is Mr. Orr being experimented upon?
Don't fight me now.
James Caan, Lucas Haas, Lisa Bonet.